What's your personal definition of useful AI versus gimmicky AI products?
Well, I started out when I went to work for Hewlett Packard a long time ago. I worked for them 21 years, and one of the one of the jobs that they put me into after I left HP was to run the major competitor Oracle at that time, super high technology
Huge.
stuff, right? And so I have a very good understanding of kind of the predecessor to AI, which was business intelligence. I mean, it started out with database and relational databases and things and kind of grew from there. But now we have this fantastic capability that you don't have to train. I mean, it already knows everything about your business. It's so smart. And so you can go right into the middle, fill in a few blanks on your AI for whatever you're trying to do in your operation, and it can really help you move along. It takes you a lot of shortcuts, and you don't have to train it. You don't have to teach it what a general manager is. You don't have to teach it what inventory turns about. It already knows all this stuff. So in the stuff that we're doing around this company, Workflow Live, we use Anthropic and we do Claude, we have Claude and all that, but they all basically it lets us let Claude, let Anthropic do a lot of the lifting for us. It's just made a huge difference in being able to move things forward. It actually gives us a lot of answers and will create things for us that we don't have to do, including development tasks. I mean, it's not actually developing software, but it can organize things for you and keep you on track with things.
Yeah.
And and I think it'll do that for this whole industry, but it has to have a context. You can't just say, okay, ask your Claude Anthropic any question about anything. So you've got to have a context to work with. So that there
Well,
still has to,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, it
I
still has to be
no,
structured.
no, I've seen some of it. He and, Bridget, brilliant, have shared this platform with me, and I'm telling you, it is the next big thing.
It is, and, Bridget's been in this industry a long time, I have too, and kind of the 2 of us together, I've been through the reconditioning and watch a process and metrics and things take hold for the right reasons because everybody's being measured, and they basically have said, "Okay, I trust this now." And so we're doing the same thing with Workflow Live, except now it's gonna scale up to the groups and down to the departments all the way. So they all are aligned the same way. In other words, not it won't be different people being measured and being able to avoid accountability. It's using the rapid recon model as an approach to converting behavior into commitment.
I think it's the single biggest thing I've seen, as you alluded to earlier, Dennis, reactive versus proactive. Instead of, having to put out all these fires and be involved in everything, this is going to change your world where you can be proactive instead of reactive. I mean, it is substantial. You all can't look at it today, but you remember that name because it's coming. And when you got somebody like Dennis and Bridget that have built a company like they have with Rapid Recon, once you build a company like that, and this just parlays off of that and it goes to the next level and you got AI involved. It's going to be pretty significant. It'll be a household or dealership go to, probably nationally or internationally. Don't you agree, Dennis?
Yes, yeah, because, that's what we did with Rapid, and it made sense, and people found that they could trust it. And the same thing with Workflow Live, except it's gonna scale up and down. It's not a reconditioning solution, it's an accountability solution. It's an execution, closure, so you'll be able to know how well you're executing and all your major P&Ls, all your major priorities. And back to kind of the beginning, in the dealerships, the general manager, again, the guy is in the middle that doesn't, he's not he's in charge, but he's not in control. Right? There's too many things for them to do to say everything's perfect. And they'll kill themselves trying, but they forget as soon as somebody says, "Hey, I got a problem here. I need you to help me fix." They've gone reactive and you've lost their attention. So, and the place they're gonna get the time is from the system, is from the metrics, from the measures, to be able to say, "Okay, I see all this comes together, and now I can be more proactive because I can see where I'm gonna measure that." And where are they gonna get the time for that? Because there won't be any time just laying around. They won't think of it that way. It's gonna take away from the reactive time.
Yeah, this
Delegate that away to somebody else, which they don't like doing, but
this
that's where we're gonna move it down that track.
Yeah, this is exciting, and I don't unless it's changed. So when you talk about microprocessors that are not 100, not 1,000, not 10, 100,000 times faster than the human brain. And yes, everybody's talking about AI, and there's the naysayers more in the US than other parts of the world, but there's a lot of naysayers. Oh, it's going to take our jobs. No, what he's talking about, it's a supplement. It's something that you won't. It's like an assistant that has all the information at the fingertips instantly that'll allow you to operate an efficiency level that you've only dreamed or thought, maybe rare moments in time where you thought that was happening and then you lost control again. This will help that not happen.